Alanko's Big Feelings by Cece. Alanko stared at the red marks all over his math test. The big letter at the top made his tummy feel funny and tight. A D-, he whispered, crumpling the edges of the paper. I studied so hard, but I still got it wrong. His eyes started to feel hot and stingy. Alanko tried to blink the tears away, but they kept coming. I'm never going to be good at math, he said to himself. Everyone else probably did better than me. The tears started falling faster now. Alanko put his head down on his desk and let out a big sob. Wah, he cried, not caring if anyone heard him. His whole body shook as he cried into his arms. I worked so hard, he sniffled between sobs. I practiced every night. But it wasn't enough. I'm just not smart enough for math. Just then, his teacher walked over quietly. Hey there, she said in a gentle voice. I can see you're really upset about your test. She sat down in the chair next to him. Would you like to talk about it? Alanko lifted his head a little. His cheeks were red and wet from crying. I'm just stupid, he whispered. I'll never be good at anything. The teacher shook her head with a warm smile. You're not stupid at all, young man. You know what I see? I see someone who cares so much about learning that he's willing to cry when things get tough. She pointed to his crumpled test paper. And you know what else? Making mistakes is how we learn. Every single person in this class has gotten a bad grade before. The boy wiped his nose with his sleeve and looked at her with wide, hopeful eyes. Really? Even the smart kids, especially the smart kids, his teacher chuckled. You want to know a secret? The smartest people I know are the ones who ask for help when they need it. She gently smoothed out his test paper and pointed to some problems. Look here. You got the first 3 problems completely right. That shows me you do understand the basics. The boy's eyes grew wider as he studied his paper. I did get those right, didn't I? You absolutely did. And this problem here, she pointed to another section. You were so close. You just mixed up one tiny step. That's not being dumb. That's being almost there. For the first time since seeing his grade, he felt a tiny spark of hope in his chest. So maybe I'm not hopeless. Not hopeless at all, his teacher said firmly. You know what we're going to do? We're going to figure out exactly where you got confused, and then we're going to practice those parts together. She pulled out a colorful notebook. I'm going to give you some special practice problems that are just right for where you are. And guess what? You can come ask me questions anytime you feel stuck. The boy felt his shoulders relax for the first time all day. You really think I can get better at this? I absolutely know you can, she said with a big smile. Learning isn't about being perfect the first time. It's about trying, making mistakes, and trying again. She tapped the desk gently. And you know what the most important thing is? You cared enough to cry about this. That tells me you really want to learn, and that is what makes someone truly smart. The boy smiled through his drying tears. Thank you for helping me feel better. I think I'm ready to try again. Over the next few days, the boy worked on his special practice problems. Sometimes he got frustrated, but instead of crying, he remembered what his teacher said about asking for help. Excuse me, he would say, raising his hand. I'm getting confused on this part, and his teacher would smile and come right over to help him work through it step by step. Slowly, the math problems started making more sense. The numbers didn't look so scary anymore. 2 weeks later, it was time for another math test. The boy's heart pounded as his teacher handed out the papers, but this time it was a different kind of nervous feeling. I practiced really hard, he whispered to himself. And if I don't understand something, that's okay. I can ask for help next time. He worked through each problem carefully, remembering all the steps his teacher had shown him. When he finished, he felt proud of how hard he had tried. The next day, when his teacher handed back the tests, the boy held his breath. There at the top of his paper was a big, bright B-, with a smiley face next to it. Yes, he shouted, then quickly covered his mouth and giggled. His teacher winked at him from across the room. But even better than the good grade was how he felt inside. He felt proud, confident, and ready to keep learning, even when things got tough. From that day on, whenever the boy felt overwhelmed or sad about school, he remembered something very important. It's okay to have big feelings, and it's okay to ask for help. He learned that crying didn't make him weak. It showed he cared. And caring about learning, even when it's hard, is one of the most important things of all. And whenever he saw another kid crying over a bad grade, he would remember to be kind, just like his teacher had been kind to him.